Hello everybody and welcome to a 2Keys tutorial. This is my first time over in my redstone testing world, so this might be a first for some of y'all to see what's going on here. This is a shared redstone server where me and my friends do some testing before we try and rebuild it on our survival server. Today I'm going to be going over the 3DQuarryMachine designed by Raysworks and Comet. I refer to it as a 2D, they call it a 3D, but I'm going to be doing a tutorial on how to build it in a survival world, as they only show how to do it in a creative, which makes it very complicated to try and figure out how to do. So let's get started. So a quick explanation of how this machine works and the materials needed. You'll need 2 minecarts, 2 detector rails, 2 TNT, 2 coral fans of any type, 2 walls of any type, 11 sea lanterns, 26 temporary blocks, 64 or more scaffolding, 8 observers, 2 levers, 5 redstone, 8 sticky pistons, 9 regular pistons, and 38 slime. This machine is designed to have 2 TNT duping machines that fly across your district. Essentially, if the machine works properly, every coordinate across your district will have 4 pieces of TNT detonated on it throughout the course of the run. This can be made. This is a simple machine to do a quarry or a perimeter with, because it requires very little materials that can do such a large area. You just have to build up this machine, this return mechanism, and a redstone block to stop it, and it can do as large as an area as you want as long as you keep it rendered. One trick being to have the player stand in the minecart as it runs. So this machine has a flying machine, which is these 2 machines here with its carrier. Then the rest of the machine is just used to shift it over 1 block. As you can kind of see with this, it goes forward, then backwards, then goes over 1 pixel or 1 coordinate, goes forwards and backwards and back. So you end up going across your entire district. I think that's all to really explain for this section here. So let's go ahead and go to the survival world and explain the rest of the build. So I'm here in our industrial district. What we're trying to do here is clear out all the deep slate that came with version 1.18 or 1.17, I believe. But we didn't want to lose the glass floor that we had built before. So we're trying to build this TNT quarry machine underneath the glass. We've already run it once, so you can kind of see it got a lot of stuff, but there were a few patches of water here and there that caused it to not destroy everything. So we're about to run it a second time. Now we'll also have it to where over here we have 2 amethyst crystals that we've surrounded in obsidian, so we didn't risk destroying them, but it's causing it to block out a large chunk of it. So we're about to set up another machine, get rid of a lot of this, get rid of a lot of the stuff that was missed because of water, and try and clean up along the wall a little bit. So I'll be getting started in this corner over here and give you a little bit more detail then. So you can see it's cleared out a lot of space already, but there's still a little roughness around the edges. You can see we've set up a water curtain around the whole district. That's just to help leave a smooth wall. As you can kind of see here, you end up with a little bit of a speckle pattern where the TNT doesn't explode perfectly. Well, if you don't have water there, the TNT will do that on your final wall. For the aesthetic, we want a smooth wall across the district. So this wall, we didn't do that. You can see the roughness and stuff behind. On this wall we have. So we were trying to go for this smooth wall effect, and this water curtain is really useful for that. To build this machine, you have to have it built at least a minimum of 12 blocks above the highest block that it's going to be going over. to have this height be any lower, you risk the TNT pretty much bouncing up back into your machine and destroying it, which is problematic. Here, in order to have it be under a floor and be tall enough above a surface, you have to clear a minimum of 20 blocks between the ceiling and the floor that you want. We've done this with the TNT tunnel bores. You can kind of see over here, this was the last run. We're pretty much just leaving these here because it's a bit of a pain. I have a separate video where I explain how to build these reliably. And since that was taken care of, we've run it once. And we cleared out all the water and lava that was found during the first run. So we'll be getting ready on start a second run here in a moment. First, gotta sleep. Okay, so I've gone ahead and done a little bit of just trying to get in position. When you're building this, what you'd want to do is whatever the Y coordinate or the Y coordinate for the tallest block in the region you're about to do, you need to have this part that you're standing on be at least 13 blocks above that. For me, when I'm doing it underneath the ceiling, I need this to be the 9th block away from the ceiling. After that, I'm going to start building out the rest of the structure. We count the scaffolding as 1, and I'm going to use blue blocks for blocks you can leave up, orange blocks for blocks you have to remove before you can start the machine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we're going to build out to the side there in a moment. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And we're going to build out to the side here. This way is going to be 5 out, starting counting with the blue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're going to put a second block on 5 and 2. Then we're going to come over here, and this one's going to be built out 7 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we're going to put a second block on 7, 5, and 2. To go ahead and start building this, I will start with this side over here. Because one of the things I keep forgetting is the easiest way to do this is to do it now. So I put down a sticky piston facing me while standing on this block on block 5. And then I'm able to jump and lay down the slime blocks here. 1, 2, 3. 1 to the side. 1 to the side. And then while I'm here, it's also a good time to go ahead and put a sticky piston there. From here, I can go ahead and jump off and go ahead and proceed with the first of the TNT flying machine. For this, I'm going to use sea lanterns. I use sea lanterns in place of glass or other temporary blocks when I just want more light. Personal preference, you could use glass or any other, I believe, non-solid block. But I go ahead and on this block 5 of this one, sea lantern, slime, sea lantern. Then on the slime, I go 1 up, 1 to the side, 1 towards me, and on this guy we go 1 up again. This is the basic structure of a flying machine. On this slime is where we're going to put the coral, and on this sea lantern we're going to put a TNT. The next machine over follows much of the same structure. We're going to put a slime block, but then we also need to put an observer. For that, I'm also going to put down another temporary block, jump up, come over to the side, and I'm going to put an observer so that its output is going into the slime block. While I'm here, I'll go ahead and remove these orange blocks because I won't be able to reach them in a bit without a lot of effort. So I'll remove these temporary blocks now. And then, much like with the other mechanism, I'm going to go slime up, slime to the side, slime towards me, slime up again. And then from here, we'll also put another coral. This one, once again, goes on the slime. And the sea lantern will go on this observer. This is your 2 TNT flying machines for the most part. There's still a lot of other stuff to do. Let's see, we'll also want to go ahead and put the stone walls here now. And we go ahead and put it on the slime right above the TNT. Just like so. These walls, their hitboxes are slightly above their surface and they help keep the TNT minecart from falling off. Okay, next step. The next step is going to be to go ahead and put down a couple more temporary blocks. We're going to need to put one here, where we're going to be jumping onto in a moment. And we're going to go ahead and throw down an observer over here. From there, we'll also need to go ahead and put down a sticky piston. You're going to have it facing out this way. But you'll need to jump and try and place it, because you need it. Come on, eat. Okay. Come on. There we go. And then we're going to want to put a redstone block just to the side of it, because you want this piston extended during assembly. Okay. Now we walk out over here, and I also want to put another temporary block there, and another temporary block here. This is where we're going to build or put the minecart until we put it into its final position. In order to build a TNT duper, you have to be careful, as you can't put the minecart directly on. You have to put the minecart on the rail and then push it over. Let's see, from here, we want to go ahead and put on the slimes. We're going to make a little L. Put one there. One here. And we're going to throw down another couple temporary blocks and put the observer on now. And go ahead and remove these. And then we can continue on. Another slime. And another slime. Then for both of these, I want to step back a little bit. And you're going to want to put down 2 regular pistons. One will go here, because it will push the slime of the TNT machine. And then this one here will be pushing the TNT minecart. We'll put the minecart on later when we're ready to prime. And then for now, we go ahead and jump up. Put down a temporary block just to build over. I'm going to replace that with a sticky piston in a moment, but first I want to go ahead and build a little bit more. 1, 2, 3, 4. I usually go ahead and use slime as my temporary blocks, but for this demonstration, I'm using these wool just so it's a bit more visual, let you know that it is temporary. So I remove the temporary block, put in a sticky piston, and then I put in an observer with the output towards me. That's how I'll say it. Let's see. This one doesn't need the same observer pointing out, as this one, the first one on the left, is the one that actually controls the return mechanism. This one's just kind of going along. What? Oop, I gotta go sleep. One moment. So just a chance for you to see the mechanism so far. We've built up the 2 flying machines. We've got the start of the flying machine carrier, I guess you'll say. And then we've got these first 4 blocks over here. Yeah. So we'll go ahead and get back to where we were. And we go over 2 blocks this way. 1, 2. And then we'll need a temporary block. Like I said, I usually use slime, but for demonstration, go there. And then we need another slime here. And what we have is an observer, the output towards me. Then I can destroy this. Put the sticky piston this way. Go ahead and put another slime block here. See. And then from here, we put down a regular piston. We put down a block of slime and another observer. Now we'll go back and throw on a few parts that go underneath here before we move on, just so that we don't forget them. Oh, that's why. This is not supposed to be a cylinder, this is supposed to be a TNT. Sorry about that. TNT. Alright. So then, much like from the one before, with a pair of regular pistons, we're going to put one in line with this block to move the machine sideways. One with this one to push the minecart. We need to put a temporary block that the minecart will be on during the setup phase. And we'll put the minecart on that in a little bit. And we'll also need to come over here and jump down and put down one more regular piston. You can just kind of barely see it there. But it's going to be pointing towards this slime here. Let's see if we can get a better visual. There we go. So this one is pointing right there. Okay. Now they climb back to where we were. Keep in mind, any of this orange wool is stuff you have to remove before you start the machine, or the machine will not work or self-destruct, depending on which ones you left behind. Okay. So from here, we're going to put down 4 sea lanterns starting on this slime block here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a redstone block. From here, oh, I forgot, we want to go ahead and while we're standing on here, put down an observer. Then step down here, put down a regular piston, and it will extend due to quasi-connectivity between this sea lantern. Okay. So much bounce. Stop. Alright. Then from here, put down 2 more sea lanterns. Go ahead and lay down 2 more slime blocks here, I believe. 1, 2. See. think one more. Yeah. You put down a slime block on the end of this here. 2, 3. No, just 2. Then we put down another sea lantern. There we go. And then we're going to end up putting a few more slimes out this way. One, and I'll have to step over to that. But while I'm here, I'm going to jump over to the sea lantern. 2 and 3. And I'm also going to go ahead and get a sticky piston and another observer right there. So that's all the observers placed. That should be everything here. So we're, for the most part, done with this section. Let's double check, make sure I haven't missed anything. Got that. Okay. Okay. So we still need to put the minecarts in positions. The difficult thing with this is once the minecarts are in position, the TNT is armed. Any block update to the TNT will cause it to suddenly detonate. So if you place a block or remove a block next to a TNT that is armed, it will detonate and there's nothing you can do. So in a lot of cases, you want to remove any blocks that don't have to be around and just start being very careful once the TNT is primed. So I'll go ahead and remove all the scaffolding that doesn't need to be here. So I have as little reason to be clicking or placing stuff or removing stuff around the TNT. So at this point, you just want to make sure you get rid of all the orange wool. Okay. Now I'm going to come over here and I'm going to place one of the minecarts on each of the detector rails I placed earlier. The detector rails do need to be placed facing towards the district, or north and south. They are directional. If you try and build this machine east to west, it may not work properly. I have not tested that theory, but that was one of the instructions I was given. We got 2 levers, and what we're going to do is we're going to put it on the piston that is directly connected to the minecart. You want to use a lever, and you want to put it on the back. If you do you could do a button. It doesn't hurt to be a button, but it has to be on the back. The issue becomes that if you put a lever or a button on the side, when the piston extends, it will break the button, causing it to be a single tick pulse extension, and it will only move the rail and the minecart will be left behind. So we'll go ahead and update this one. This TNT is now primed. If I place anything next to it, it will pretty much start to detonate, pop off, and fall. So this one I no longer want to mess with. I'm going to go ahead and remove this temporary block and this temporary block, and now this one is ready to go. And now we'll do the same thing with this one over here. So you make sure you remove the lever before you're done. I don't think it would hurt anything, but just good practice. Make sure you don't leave that there. What buttons? Keyboard work. Okay. Same thing here. Put a lever on the back. Extend it. Retract it. Remove the lever or button. And then remove the other temporary blocks. So now this part of the mechanism is done. That piece of redstone is the part that will actually start the machine. When you remove it, the machine starts. But you can't start it yet, because you still need to set up the return mechanism and the future stop mechanism. So I will go ahead and go towards that one in a moment. So one thing I want to make sure I show you before moving on to the rest is how to get the alignment for everything. Things do shift around when you first start the machine, but when you're first building it, the position you want to do for everything is important. So what you're going to do is F3. You're going to look at, on the right hand side, the targeted block. You're going to look at this observer, and you're going to note its coordinates. So here we have negative 2619, 0, 183. And you're going to do the same thing for the other observer. Negative 2614, 0, 183. And lastly, you need to get the position of the redstone block. Sure, I get that cursor on that. Let's see. It's not that. There we go. Redstone block. And it is at negative 2614, 179. So for the redstone block, it's the easiest to deal with. What you're going to do is you're going to fly all the way over to wherever you want the machine to stop. I might actually need some more scaffolding for this. Wherever you want it to stop, you need to have 2 blocks from whatever wall it may be hitting. So here we have the water. So 1, 2, and then on the third is where you'll put the redstone. Wait. So go ahead and see if this is the right position. Alright, yeah, I need a lot more scaffolding. For now, I'll just use some temporary blocks. So that's too close to there. I need to be a little bit more over. Let's go ahead and look at the coordinates. So we're at negative 2356, which is fine. We don't really care about that. But we need to be at 179. There we go. So that's 179. And then we need to be at 1. So that's at 0. So I'm going to jump up, place the redstone. And this should be what we need to stop the machine from flying. So it will continue the TNT back and forth across the entire district. And it will come all the way over to here and stop. So I'll go ahead and remove these temporary blocks. That's all there is to it to stop the machine. Finish this up. Okay. So now we'll need to go and build up the return mechanism. That one gets a little bit more involved and is not quite as easy as that one. Missing a couple. Okay. So now we're over here to build the return mechanism. What we're going to do is try and get as close as we can to our amethyst crystal without interfering with the machine, so we can get as much detonated as we can. So let's go here. So we need 1 block of air and then 1 block where we can build. That's F3 targeted block. 347. So 345 is where we can build. Okay. So 3 from there. And let's build up. Okay. I'm going to use some temporary blocks to try and figure out exactly where we want to build. Alright, so let's check where this one's at. That is at -3, 345, 26, 20. So we're not too concerned about the position left to right. So the 300 one isn't too big of a concern. But we do need to try and get to 2614 and the 0. So that's 0. That's 15. And now what we want to do is we're going to take the slime and pretty much right in line with the observer, we're going to place a slime. We're going to go ahead and place another couple temporary blocks. We're going to remove this one here, place in a sticky piston, and on top of that, place a sea lantern. Once again, this doesn't have to be a sea lantern. Well, before we place the sea lantern, remove that temporary block. Sea lantern, and then the last thing we do is place a redstone block on top of this. Once you place the redstone block, any other updates will cause it to activate. So this block here needs to be replaced with a piston, just a regular piston. Then we can remove this block. And the very last thing I do is place the redstone, but I think I'll go ahead and do that here. And then I'm going to go ahead and lay out some temporary blocks the rest of the way here. So I can go ahead and remove the blocks underneath, because I don't need those anymore. I was just trying to figure out where I was with those. So once again, I need to figure out the coordinate. So 2619 was the other one. I'm going to go ahead and place a slime block there. I'll place a sticky piston facing the slime block there. Remove this temporary block. I just need an air gap between the two. Then I place a sea lantern on top. But here, I need to remove my scaffolding and place a regular piston. Remove the temporary block. And then place the final redstone block. So now the return mechanism is built. I can go ahead and remove the scaffolding. That should be it. That is everything needed to build to run this machine. I've already got a time lapse of it running for the rest of the district. This is just to try and clear out a little bit that's left. But I'll go ahead and have a bit of the machine running here for you to see. Especially since there is still a good chunk to watch right here. This machine, I'm going to be doing some other stuff to it. I want that return mechanism to be repositioned further back. I needed to clear the amethyst crystal first, and then I'm going to reposition the return mechanism. So I'm going to be doing some of that. That's not important for the tutorial, but you've already seen everything you need to do. Just however far you want to build your return mechanism and your stop. Make sure everything is at least 20. I gotta go sleep. Talk to you later. So let's go ahead and start this run. Oh. We're gonna have it do a short run because I'm doing a special arrangement due to those amethyst crystals, but everything else is the same. We'll go ahead and just remove this block of redstone. Everything shifts over and your TNT start running. And it essentially lays down a block of TNT for every coordinate. It'll just continue to go down the entire way. So it can't get super close to the wall. You'll end up where some of it just doesn't get cleared out along this edge. But the other edges are able to get cleared out pretty well. The back edge from where you started will get cleared out well, and the left edge and far side will get cleared out fairly well. So it's not a bad arrangement. Wherever you first start, the left side is going to get hit 4 times, but the right side is only going to get hit twice. Oop. Yeah, sometimes you can get those rogue TNTs that will just fly around, and those could destroy the machine. So having a flat surface for you to start is useful, and just making sure everything stays low enough to where those rogue TNTs are very unlikely. So I'll come over here, you'll see the return is essentially just doing a block update on those TNT, on those pistons, and then it causes the non-sticky pistons to push everything back. So yeah, it'll just keep TNTing like this, back and forth. And as it gets back to the other side, the carriage mechanism will push it 1 block over so that it doesn't keep redoing the same section over and over. And that's how you're able to do this whole section. This is a 17 chunk by 17 chunk district, and it was able to do it all in about 18 hours. So it's not instant for getting rid of a large area, but it is definitely faster than trying to mine it manually. So we'll let it finish this lap, and then I'll come down and we'll get a first-hand view of what's going on with it. So you can kind of see the minecarts are kind of glitching. The issue with the machine is if you get it out of render distance, the minecarts may despawn and cause the machine to stop working, or the pistons may not properly update and the machine will end up stuck. A stuck machine isn't as big of an issue because you usually just need to figure out which observer to update. But otherwise, it can start to become a bit of an issue if the minecarts are gone, as you'd have to start trying to do the re-adding the minecarts business while it's out in the middle of nowhere and you may not be able to easily get to it. This is able to bring the TNT is able to fall about 83 blocks before detonating. So as long as you are about 83 blocks above bedrock, you'll be able to reliably clear down the bedrock. It doesn't work with a single column spire of material that it's trying to clear out, because it's relying on the TNT landing on a lot of blocks around it to try and clear out all the material. And there's a lot of zombies right now. Pop back up over here. Oop, rogue TNT flying backwards there. So this was all the same level a moment ago. Alright, it's already returning back. You can kind of see some visual glitching for our phantom blocks. That's not a huge deal. Oh. Oh, shoot. Zombie boy. But yeah, it's usually rather dangerous to try and follow this machine. And there's no real benefit to trying to follow it. A lot of TNT. Oh shoot, 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 shoot. I will die, I will die. Yeah, if you end up caught in the middle of the run of the TNT, you will most assuredly die due to the constant stream of TNT falling on you. Or you'll end up dealing with a bunch of mobs. So, yeah, I usually just observe from a safe distance. And I let my replay mod make the nice videos for it. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and stop this here. Next should be a time lapse of the machine running for this short distance.